good evening and welcome back to your view with me on Kopute JJ Tawana. Roundtable tonight is about the public protector. She's been in the news with people from all sides of the political and the social spectrum, either saying she must stay, she's doing a good job, she's tackling the powers that be, another say no, she's terrible, some courts pronouncing very badly and unkindly to her work. So we thought, let's bring together Mzwane Lemanyi from ATM, as well as Stephanie Fick from AUTA, who are standing on the opposite side of that debate, and just stretch the matter out in the 45 minutes remaining of our show tonight. So before we get into it, okay, good evening and welcome to both of you.
Good evening.
Wonderful. As I was saying, let's debate, let's stretch it out, and hopefully in 45 minutes we can find some middle ground about how we proceed on this. But let's have a look at this package prepared by our newsroom reporters before we kick off with the debate.
The public protector claims that the new set of rules which outline the grounds of the removal of the heads of Chapter 9 institutions do not give an opportunity for those affected to give their side of the story. But in a hard-hitting statement, the DA's Natasha Mazzoni says Mkhwebane's response to the parliamentary process was further proof of her poor grasp of the law and the very reason why she should be removed. The public protector told the media that parliamentarians cannot begin a process to remove her while the very issues they are relying upon are part of ongoing court processes.
Rule 129R provides that the Speaker shall only approve a motion once a prima facie case has been made out. Such a case cannot be made without having afforded the affected person an opportunity to be heard. The Speaker's conduct in purporting to approve the DA's motion can be regarded as unlawful on those bases alone.
Mkhwebane wants answers from the Speaker. She says she's being targeted because she dared to investigate some powerful people, but she refuses to resign.
I have, through my lawyers, written to the Speaker this morning, bringing to her attention the many deficiencies of these rules, including those I referred to in this statement, and requested her to furnish me with a response.
The public protector says she's not above scrutiny, but expects fairness from Parliament. For Newsroom Africa, Channel 405, I'm Pilani Pakhadi in Johannesburg.
All right, Pilani Pakhadi there, summing it up for us in terms of the latest developments. Let's start with you, Stephanie. What is AUTA's standpoint? Do you think that the public protector must go, or what she has done is all in the course of her work? In other words, if you look at how other institutions operate, or even judicial officers and so on, sometimes they get it wrong, and then the magistrate gets it wrong, and it goes to the higher court, they overturn it, goes to the Supreme Court, goes all the way to the Constitutional Court. So that basis that the courts have pronounced badly on her seems to fall on its face from time to time in that regard, or is that not the case?
It's not the case. The Public Protector's Office should go nowhere. It's a Chapter 9 institution. It's there to look after the people. Yeah. The person currently occupying the office, we believe, should pack her bags and go.
Wow.
And this is why. Yes, our system, we have a beautiful justice system. You have a right of reply, and you can give your side of the story. But what happened in the instances where her recommendations was taken to court, it's her conduct. Let's not forget that the court pronounced on her conduct. She's an advocate. And the Constitutional Court found a variety of other things, but one of the things is that she wasn't quite honest. Do we want a public protector that cannot even be honest when her own report is taken on review? I don't think so. So it's about her behavior, the way she investigates. Yeah. The Estina Dairy Farm debacle, someone called it, there were farmers that still to this day she hasn't investigated that properly. I mean, if she can't look after the marginalized, if she can't look after their rights, then I don't know why she's there. So it's about her conduct and the fact that there's a high, we expect a lot. Yeah. And for someone not to, for example, be honest and conduct an investigation proper, for someone to not understand her constitutional obligations, that's worrying. That really, really, really is a worry.
So that's the bottom line. So you are basically saying it's all about her conduct.
Conduct.
Right? It's not about the fact that her reports have been taken on review, because that should be a right of those against whom she finds to take her to court, and the court can overrule her. That doesn't make her a bad public protector just because she got it wrong. But what you are questioning is her conduct in terms of being found to be dishonest by the highest court, and that to you is irredeemable.
Yes, except for the fact that she's a Chapter 9. She's there in terms of the Constitution, the highest. I mean, we all have regard to our lovely Constitution.
Yeah.
She's an advocate. She's an officer of the court.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Constitution is here, but also the fact that she is a professional and she's an advocate.
Yeah.
Of course, we regard her, you put her on a pedestal, except for the fact that she's there to do a good job.
Yeah.
You put her on a pedestal.
All right, before I go to Mzwanele to respond to that, there's a part that so first of all, the reason overall is conduct, not the fact that she's been found, her reports have been taken on review. That's number one. We park that. The second part is, she claims, right, and you've heard from that report, that she's been targeted, right? And if you look at the fact that up to now there were no rules to remove anybody in the Chapter 9 institution, right? Is it not reasonable to think that these are now rules not framed to remove Chapter 9 institutions, but they are rules targeted at her removal? So those rules are not there. Now they are being brought and hurriedly, cooked up together so that she can be. Is it unreasonable for her to believe she's been targeted?
I think so. I think, firstly, the Constitution, again, makes provision for her to be removed. 2/3 of Parliament, and she can be removed. Not just her, any Chapter 9 institution. So it's there. It's in our Constitution that a person can be removed. Yeah. I think what Parliament did is, yes, they didn't have rules. And she was the first person to say, but you can't do anything. You don't have rules. So they went and debated and considered the rules, and have now said these are the rules. Yeah. If you look at the rules, I mean, there's going to be this panel, let's call them an independent panel, that will look at the evidence. She will have an opportunity to give her side of the story. Yeah. Let's not preempt what's going to happen. Yeah. What is important is that there's a process. Yeah. In our democracy, there's a process which she can partake in. And let's see what the end result is. I can sit here, I can give you what our stance is. Yes. That if you go through the procedure, hopefully we will come to the right answer. Yeah. And even if we disagree as to what we hope the answer would, the process should unfold.
All right.
That's the beauty of it.
Okay, so you dismiss the fact that she's targeted. She's not targeted because you are saying she's the first one to say there must be rules.
Yes.
All right. Mzwanele, your turn now. Yeah. Why do you think she must stay?
No, JJ, I think let's help South Africa in having the right discussion. This is a non-starter. This is a non-discussion. The real discussion that we should be having today is whether we should have the situation that we're having, where we have Section 41 of the Constitution being violated, where the intergovernmental bodies are not working together the way they should. This is the issue we should be discussing today, a very serious issue. The issue about the rules goes to the fundamental core of the rule of law. Everybody keeps telling us about the rule of law and everything. Now let's just go through them very quickly, JJ, just to show you the flaws in terms of the rules which the public protector is raising. Yeah. For instance, she raises that in the rules themselves, there's a rule there called Rule number 128R. Now, in terms of Rule 128R, when a motion has been raised of such a nature, the Speaker has got a duty. The duty of the Speaker is to make sure the motion ticks the boxes in terms of constitutionality and all these nice things and all of that. Yeah. But importantly, the Speaker must tick a box of, is there a prima facie case that this is the issue here? Yeah. Is there a prima facie case for incapacity? Is there a prima facie case for incompetence? Is there a prima facie case for misconduct? Now, you can't arrive at that listening only onto the one side. Yeah. And the rules In fact, the rules say you must listen to the member of assembly.
Yeah.
And indeed she has done that. But how can that be natural justice where the other side is not heard? So that's the first point about the flaw of that Rule 128R, because it only gives the one side. It says members of assembly. Now everybody else that is affected by this, there's no chance to say, let's just hear you. Even maybe after hearing you, I'll still say the process must continue. But the fact that the rules don't provide for the hearing of both sides before
the inquiry
takes place, because there must be a prima facie case that there is substance in this thing. It's not just politicking. But the rules don't provide for that. That's the first thing. The second thing is the issue of conflict. The rules are very silent about how to manage conflict. One of the conflict things that are in this rule are pointed out by, if you have to go to rules of parliament, in fact, I've made your life easy, JJ. You can look at this. Those are rules of parliament. If you go there to rule number 88, or rule number 88 of the National Assembly is very clear that members of the National Assembly are not allowed to disparage Chapter 9 institutions, courts, judges, and all these people, all the people that at some point might have to come to the National Assembly that they have to pronounce on. They're not supposed to do that. And that rule makes an exception, that the only time we can do that is when we are in a process of raising a motion and all of that in Parliament, which is a formal process. No issue. But we all know, long before the motion was raised by the DA has been all over the country disparaging the public protector, saying she's a spy and all of that. Now, how can those people be deemed to be people that are competent to judge neutrally the public protector? Those people have actually technically removed themselves from the process, so therefore the rules should have said people that qualify to participate in this process are all those that have not violated Rule 88, which says don't do this. But their entire DA caucus has violated this rule. Lastly, on the issue of conflict.
All right, just pause on the conflict. I just want to pay the bills. I'll give you a chance to carry on and then step